This is CBC Here and Now.
The 47th Annual Folk Festival kicks off here in Bannerman Park in St. John's tonight. We'll have an interview with organizers talking about the music, the food, the family-friendly events, and a lot more. That's coming up on Here and Now.
Where is the report? That's what a mental health advocate and the opposition are wondering. They're waiting for a final evaluation of mental health plan towards recovery. I'll have the details just ahead.
9 proposals have been shortlisted to develop wind and hydrogen projects in this province.
A project of this magnitude coming to the Bjorn Peninsula is going to benefit every town on the Bjorn Peninsula.
That story coming up.
Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. A mental health advocate is calling on government to stop stalling the release of a final report to improve mental health care. The province's 5-year action plan called Towards Recovery concluded last year, but delays in releasing the final report have left some questioning the status of recommendations. Here and Now's Henrika Wilhelm reports on why that's a problem.
All 54 recommendations in the province's action plan towards recovery were labelled substantially completed as of March 2022. But the evaluation report is crucial to determine whether they were actually met, says one mental health advocate.
I can say I think they failed, but I want to be able to do that with fact. And until they give us the evaluation, we can't do that.
In August 2022, a health department spokesperson told CBC News that an evaluation will be released fall 2022. Then in March, an official announcement, the report is expected to be released in the coming weeks. 4 months later, it is yet to be published.
I want to know where it is. Is it because it's summer? Is it because they're not paying attention to it? It's extremely frustrating.
For Alan, no evaluation means further progress within the mental health system is stalled.
They had these 54 recommendations. They said when it's complete, things are going to be better. And every time I say it's not enough, I have needs, I know people who have needs, it feels like we've been told we'll just wait till this has been implemented. And now it's been implemented and we want to know what's next.
The opposition health critic agrees the evaluation is crucial.
You can go out and say, yes, we've reduced the wait times, but is it getting the outcomes that were required when we started this report? And that's what's missing. And the sooner we hear this, the sooner stakeholders and those with lived experiences can offer input into whether it's doing what it should and where there are areas for improvement. But right now, we're in the dark.
Din thinks the delay might be because issues that really need to be addressed haven't been yet.
I suspect there's a bit of editing going on and smoothing it out and make sure it's, it's readable. Yes, it's bureaucracy. There's no doubt about it. But at the end of this report, there's real people with real struggles and real needs. And that's what we need to be focused on. Dotting our I's and crossing our T's, that's fine. But at some point, you got to look at the action that's being done.
Meanwhile, a spokesperson for the health department said that the evaluation will be released, quote, in the near future. Henrika Wilhelm, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, it was later than expected, but the provincial government gave an update yesterday on the selection process for wind to hydrogen projects. 9 of the proposals have advanced to the next phase. That's less than half of those under review, but there is optimism among those still in the running for Crown land. Here Now's Terry Roberts reports.
The excitement is here. The whole peninsula is abuzz today. I've had over 100 phone calls already from other mayors and people on the Energy Advisory Board saying, woohoo!
It's not hard to understand why the mayor of Marystown is so excited today. A massive swath of Crown land on the Bjorn Peninsula has been reserved for wind turbines and hydrogen ammonia plants.
A project of this magnitude coming to the Bjorn Peninsula is going to benefit every town on the Bjorn Peninsula.
The Energy Department revealed Thursday that 9 of the 24 wind hydrogen proposals have cleared Phase 1 of the review process.
What I can say is that the proponents that have gotten through this stage have shown us that they have the financial wherewithal to get there, that the plan makes sense, that it is feasible, that it can be done.
The government is not revealing the names of the companies that are moving to the next phase, or those that have been rejected. But I've managed to confirm the names of 8 of the 9 companies that are moving forward. They are ABO Wind Brea Renewable Fuels, World Energy GH2, Fortescue Future Energies, Brookfield Renewable Partners, Everwind Fuels, Evrec Exploits Valley, North Atlantic Come By Chance, and Pattern Energy.
We were delighted to learn that yesterday our proposal has been accepted.
Pattern is proposing a 300-megawatt wind project on Port of Argentia lands, a plan to produce 160,000 tons of ammonia each year. It also wants Crown land for future phases.
While Newfoundland will be a challenging place to develop and to build, we think Pattern has all the requisite skills and experience to make this a reality.
Everwind Fuels is proposing to build 200 wind turbines along the entirety of the Burin Peninsula, from Point May in the south to Terrenceville in the north.
We got one really vibrant company with a proven track record in this industry, and they also in Point Tupper, Nova Scotia, they already started another wind energy farm up there. So it's phenomenal that they got experience and they got the funding. They're not a company that's coming in asking the taxpayers for money. They're not asking the government for money. They are a very financial, stable company.
The remaining 9 bids will now move to Phase 2 of the selection process, and we're told we should know the successful bidders by the end of August.
Who knows how many come out of Phase 2? I'm not prejudging anything. We could have 9, we could have 0, we could have somewhere in between.
The Stage 2 review will include a more thorough examination of the bidders' proposals, such as how each project will affect the provincial power grid and the benefits it will bring to the province. Successful bidders will be required to carry out an environmental review before being granted access to Crown lands. Terry Roberts, CBC News, St. John's.
This afternoon, the provincial government announced the location of a new high school in Portugal Cove, St. Philip's. It will be constructed on Old Broad Cove Road, and Premier Andrew Furey says the school is scheduled to open in September of 2026. Students from grades 10 to 12 will attend the school when it opens, and the province says it'll cost $33 million over 4 years. The Department of Transportation issued a request for proposals. The school's announcement has been controversial since it's located in the town where the Premier lives, and documents obtained by CBC last year show the school district didn't see a new school in that town as a priority and would affect schools in the feeder system like Prince of Wales Collegiate. But the Premier says the new school will mean students at the current junior high school won't have to be bused.
That whole school was being bused. Now that school is being bused to high school. That puts extra pressure on the urban schools, PWC in particular. We need to create extra spaces, and by creating extra spaces, given the density pressure and the immigration pressure, thank God, and the people in Newfoundland and Labrador, in the urban centers, and St. John's in particular, we need to make sure we're investing in high schools that can accommodate those new students and eliminate some of the busing issues.
And the Progressive Conservative MHA for the area is happy to see the province moving forward with a new school. David Brazel says people in the town have been advocating for it for about a decade. But the NDP leader says the government should be focusing on other priorities in the education system, like increasing the number of teachers, installing better ventilation, or fixing rodent problems.
I could even support the school if I thought these other priorities that I've just talked about were being addressed. They're not. Or if the Premier and his cabinet could explain to me then, or guarantee me that the programming, the course offerings, the services offered to students in both in the new school and PWC are not going to be affected.
There was an expansion years ago on the elementary school. It was busting at the seams. Then we managed to get a junior high school here now. So the completion with a high school being announced will add to the growth of this community and the benefit of the students themselves staying collectively together. And, community pride, representing their schools, playing for their communities will add into it. But the quality of education and not having to worry about busing in and out of St. John's on a daily basis will be a benefit to the students here.
Well, a St. John's business owner says homeowners looking to switch from oil to electric heat may have to wait. Applications for money under the new oil to electric program can be submitted as of Monday. It's meant to help with the cost of switching from oil to use alternatives like mini splits, central heat pumps, and electric furnaces. About 40,000 homes may be eligible for a piece of the $157 million, but it may be hard to hire someone to actually do the work.
I'm dealing with a lot of calls every day with people calling and trying to get in line, get it done. I don't know how all the people are going to get done because there's not a lot of people in our industry who are doing the systems, and there's more and more people who've retired. And I'm like everyone else, I can't find enough people to go to work.
Well, about 2 months after George Fury retired from the Senate, another Newfoundlander has been appointed. Judy White is a Mi'kmaq lawyer from the Flat Bay Band. She's worked in human rights and Indigenous governance and was also the Provincial Assistant Deputy Minister of Indigenous Affairs and Reconciliation. In a statement, the Prime Minister says White's work to advance the rights of Indigenous peoples will make her an important voice in Senate. Well, Pride events kick off in St. John's this weekend. There will be 2 weeks of events and performances, finishing up with a Pride parade. Today, St. John's Pride and City Council raised the Pride flag outside City Hall, and organizers say seeing the flag flying there is particularly important this year.
Today is the City of St. John's Pride flag raising ceremony to kick off the Pride Festival and start it. So we worked really quickly with the City Clerk's office and the Mayor's office and the Special Events Team's office to make this come together, because it's important that the capital city has this symbol raised, especially when we have so many people in the community that are seeing all of this hate targeted towards us online, all of this animosity and these attacks on queer rights. So to have our city on board, the capital city of the province, jumping in and saying, no, this is important and we need to do this. And we saw it today. His worship spoke and the clerk's office made this work. And we were really excited for this to be the start of the day. And there's events that are starting tomorrow night that the community's doing. And then the queer markets on Sunday. And then we'll be running right up until the 23rd with the Pride Parade. It means that we have allies in the city. For a lot of people in our community, and especially young people, especially young trans people, people of color that are in our city, often don't feel safe because of what they're seeing online and the animosity that they're seeing. So what I've learned over the last 5 weeks being part of St. John's Pride is we have allies in the city, and everybody at home who's part of our community needs to hear that, because as much as we're seeing this hate and animosity online across the country and bubble up from the States, in the city, in St. John's, what I've learned over the last 5 weeks is we have allies, and I encourage every ally in the city, put up a Pride flag for the next 2 weeks, keep it up all year, put it away, make it a thing that you do every year, because even if you're not part of our community, there is somebody in your neighborhood, there is somebody in your street that feels unsafe, and seeing that symbol outside of your house tells them, okay, that person is a safe space. My neighborhood is a safe space. So we're encouraging everybody to get involved this year and to come out to all the events, as many events as you can, and just come together and have a great time.
Well, much cooler today across a good chunk of the province. Well, most of the island anyway. Significantly less humid than it has been, but it's still, we still have an area of low pressure, spinning cloud cover showers for most areas. And then another front moving through, that's sparking some thunderstorms up across Labrador this afternoon as well. But you can see a lot of that heat still very much in place for portions of Labrador. The heat warning now has ended for Churchill Falls. But take a look at these temperatures. 25 degrees in Happy Valley Goose Bay today. Churchill Falls topped out at 31. As you head towards the island, though, temperatures a little cooler today. 18 degrees in St. John's along the northeast coast, around 11 in Twillingate this afternoon. So outside right now, fog monster has been lingering out there, outside the Narrows there in St. John's, down to 13 degrees. Those winds now out of the north-northeast. And the airport is currently reporting fog. So definitely going to be a little bit of a drizzly night if you're planning on heading out to Folk Fest tonight, about 13 degrees. But there's a look at your forecast. It's not going to be a washout. Still the chance of some showers if you are planning on attending the Folk Fest. Well, Speaking of that, though, Heather Gillis is down at Bannerman Park tonight to give us a sneak peek into this year's festival.
And so many people keeping an eye on the weather, as Ashley was just talking about, because it is a big weekend in this province for festivals, including the 47th Annual Folk Festival here in St. John's in Bannerman Park. And it is, of course, a rain or shine event. And what's going to happen here is music, family-friendly events, food, and we've got Julie Vogt joining us. She's the executive director of the festival. So what can you tell us about the music, of course, the mainstay of this festival? Who are the headliners? Who can people look out for this weekend?
It is so exciting, and I have to say that I heard sound check for headliner number 1, which is Kelly Loader tonight, blew me away. I said, I'm a Kelly Loader fan anyway, but okay, full disclosure, yes, but this that they are doing now is like nothing I've heard before. Take it to the next level. So that's tonight. Tomorrow night headlining is Amelia Curran and her full band, which hasn't been seen in St. John's for a while. And then the final night we have co-headliners of Iris Dement and Rum Ragged.
Sounds lovely, but it's about more than the music here. What kind of family-friendly events do you have in the daytimes? What else can people do here at the Folk Festival?
We have workshops are coming back for the first time in a while, so you can learn how to do tapestry weaving. You can learn, with your children, by the way, you can learn how to do yarn spinning with rabbit Angora fur, spinning into this beautiful, soft, wonderful, luscious yarn. Can you tell I'm a knitter? Yeah. And we also have rug hooking, and we're going to have a skipper set up, which is our mascot, if you will, and you can do a few hooks and say, I helped, and then we're going to auction that off next year. And I want that to be a tradition year after year after year.
And tell me a little bit about what you're going to do about giving back to the community, because that's a priority this year. What's going to happen?
It is. We're so excited. The Newfoundland ponies are coming back, and with those ponies, thanks to CAA, they have gotten this off the ground, and we are doing Neighbors Helping Neighbors. So what that is if you bring in a non-perishable food item or a hygiene product, get your picture taken with a pony, and then all of those products that are donated go to Bridges to Hope, Stella's Circle, and the Gathering Place.
Julie, what can you tell us about tickets? Are there still tickets left? If someone's watching at home and they want to see it and they want to come tonight or any night over the weekend, what should they do?
They should go online and get their tickets, because you can skip the big long ticket line that is now stretching out into Bannerman Road to just bypass that, get your ticket scanned, and come on in. Everybody waits for the weather. I'm here to tell you, it's not cold, it's not raining. Come on down.
Excellent. All right. Well, Julie, thank you so much for breaking all of that down for us. Things get underway in earnest in about 45 minutes here in Bannerman Park, with some musicians warming up now at about 6:30.
Yeah, we've got an accordion player that's going to be on stage at 6:30 to walk us in.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
I'm Heather Gillis, reporting live in Bannerman Park in St. John's.
It might only be as big as a carton of milk, but don't let the size fool you. This nano satellite will provide crucial sea ice monitoring information from space. We'll meet some of the creators and the students behind it.
Well, there's a few showers on the go along the northeast coast of the island. It's going to stay unsettled this weekend. We'll get into the full forecast when I come back.
Well, just as we're getting used to all that really hot, humid weather, it's just like, see ya.
Yeah, the natural air conditioning definitely kicked in last night. Nice, though, for those of you that don't have air conditioning, a chance to open up the windows, air out the house a little bit, because the humidity will return.
Okay.
That's a good thing.
That is good.
Yeah, most people like it. Let's take a look at where we sat today. Yes, drier air this afternoon, only 18 degrees in St. John's. That is about 8 degrees cooler than it was yesterday. This time of the night. And as we head towards the west coast, a little bit warmer. Northeast coast, though, much cooler. Onshore flow, keeping that temperature around 11 degrees in Twillingate today. And temperatures along the south coast of the island, because we've been seeing a change in the weather, or at least a change in the winds, allowing your temperatures to warm up quite nicely. 19 to 22 degrees today. That was your afternoon high. Up across Labrador, the heat really up through Churchill Falls this afternoon at 31 degrees. And those of you in Lab City were hovering around the 27-degree mark. And the heat is generally going to continue as we head through to the next couple of days, but this humidity is going to return. So we're looking at just a little bit of humidity, feeling more like 26 right now in Lab City, and taking a look across the island. There's not a whole lot of humidity out there. A little bit on the west coast, feeling more like 28 in Corner Brook. So a beautiful evening for you. And then as we head towards St. John's, it feels like 14 degrees, or it is 14 degrees, and feels like 17 with that humidity. So we've got this area of low pressure that's been in place pretty much all week, spinning lots of showers, even some instability. We saw thunderstorms earlier this week. We've got a front, this one definitely sparking some thunderstorms across Labrador, and that front, as it continues to track further east, is going to bring the risk of thunderstorms right along with it tomorrow afternoon. For central areas of Labrador and even towards the coast, you may hear a few rumbles of thunder. So taking a look right now, zooming in towards the island, you can see this. It actually kind of looks pretty cool. It's spinning on the satellite here. That's some showers that are working your way towards Bonavista North and the Bonavista Peninsula, rather, and then parts of the Avalon, and even through across the Isthmus. You're seeing some showers at the moment. We will likely see drizzle continue as we head through tonight, just because we're in that onshore flow. Generally light as far as that drizzle is concerned, but some fog patches certainly possible. And along the southwestern portion of the island, it actually looks like a pretty nice night. Now, for Labrador, these thunderstorms, showers and thunderstorms are going to continue to track further east right into the morning, even northern areas. You're looking at about 10 to maybe even 20 millimeters of rain in some of those heaviest showers through tonight. Here's your temperatures: 13 degrees in Lab City, 17. That will be the hot spot across the province in Happy Valley, Goose Bay. Again, you're looking at the risk of thunderstorms for over the next couple of hours. And then once that front moves through, that will end for those of you in the west. And then across the island, temperatures coolest for the northern peninsula, around 9 degrees. Otherwise, somewhere between 11 to 14 degrees. So again, another nice night. Another chance to open up the windows to air things out tonight. Speaking of tomorrow, the chance of drizzle will generally continue through the first half of the morning. Even some showers certainly possible. Clearing skies pretty much from the west coast to the south coast. Nice day expected, but you will see some showers move right back in as we head into the afternoon hours. There's that chance of thunderstorms I was talking about. But on the west coast and south coast of the island, you will see that chance of showers move right back in through late afternoon, and even towards the Avalon and eastern Newfoundland through the overnight periods as well. And eventually you'll see that for coastal areas of Labrador. Now, as far as temperatures are concerned tomorrow, a little warmer than today. You'll also notice the humidity will bump up a little bit. So even though temperatures will be sitting in the 20s, the low 20s, Humidex values likely in the mid to upper 20s tomorrow. Not a whole lot of wind to talk about. And again, a few peaks of sun certainly in the mix. So it actually looks like a fairly nice day, but if you're planning on heading out, maybe grab a jacket or a sweater, but just for the rain. But as you head towards central areas of the island, a tad warmer. So 26 degrees in Grand Falls, Windsor tomorrow. And again, that Humidex value likely closer to the 30s. And then we'll see that towards the west coast of the island as well. Winds only 10 to 15 kilometers per hour, but the better chance of showers through the afternoon, along with some warmer temperatures. Northern Peninsula into the 20s tomorrow. Same thing along the Strait. And then generally humid again up across Labrador. You're talking about temperatures between 23 and 24 degrees. Northeast winds, though, may keep things just a tad cooler right along the coast, and that's certainly the case for the northern portions of Labrador as you sit somewhere around 14 degrees. Happy Valley Goose Bay will sit around 25. Again, that risk of thunderstorms, which may be a little bit heavy at times. So if you are planning on heading out, make sure you have your eye to the sky on Saturday. Now the weekend, still the rest of the weekend, I should say, a bit unsettled, but we'll talk about that when I come back.
Thanks, Ashley. Well, they might come in a small package, but 2 satellites under construction right now have big potential for some students at Memorial University. The Killick 1 and 2 satellites are only about the size of a milk carton, and they're being designed and built with funding from the Canadian Space Agency. The first will be launched from an international space station this fall. On the Go's Martin Jones dropped by MUN's St. John's campus to take a look at the little satellites.
Des, this satellite, it's small, but it's mighty. Describe it to us and what it's going to be doing.
All right, so this satellite is called a CubeSat. CubeSats are a standard that have been created so that ordinary people, researchers at universities, students, can build satellites on their own without a lot of information about how to build a satellite. So the CubeSat is small. It's only about the size of a milk carton. But it really does a lot of stuff. Because of cell phone technology, things have gotten very small and compact. So we can pack in as much as a 2,000 kilogram satellite used to do, say 30 years ago. We can pack into something this size today.
Right now it's on a desk in this office. What's the plan for this?
The plan is, so we have a gaggle of students who are working on it right now. The idea is the students will, the physical structure of it is completed. You can see that it's assembled on the desk, and the idea now is to finish the software. The software is usually the most complex part of the satellite, and the students are working on that software right now, hopefully finished in November. We'll be integrating into a launcher in December at the Canadian Space Agency, or possibly in NASA in Houston. Once we have the satellite integrated, the company, the launch company, will take it and will put it on a rocket ship. That rocket will go up to the International Space Station, and astronauts will take it from the launcher and basically kick it out into space. It's pretty cool and exciting.
This is a project for students, but it's going to do some important work when it's up in space. What kind of work will it do?
When we proposed this satellite back in 2018, we wanted something local, something that was important to Newfoundland and Labrador. So we picked sea ice. Sea ice, as you know, is an important thing for the Arctic, and the fact that the sea ice is receding and disappearing is something that we wanted to understand better. So the satellite that we will launch will do exactly that. It will map sea ice in the Newfoundland and Labrador region.
We are in the Seacorps building in Memorial University at St. John's campus. This is a collaboration, though, between Seacorps and MUN and others. Walk us through the collaboration.
Right, so in order for this to be successful, we had to partner. Our company does a lot of space systems development. So we're motivated to get students trained in this area. But in order for us to be successful, we had to partner with a researcher at the university, Dr. Wei-Min Huang, put in a proposal to the Canadian CubeSat program. But as I mentioned before, there's so many things that figure into a satellite, so many disciplines, that we've got a team of about 7 supervisors who are supervising the dozens and dozens of students that go into this.
My role is a little bit flexible, so I'm working on both the ground station aspect and the satellite aspect. So the ground station isn't something that we've talked about that much, but that's basically what we're doing from here, being able to send commands to the satellite and receive the data from the satellite. And the other part is the satellite, obviously, and that stuff revolves around the software aspects. When you're dealing with space, you can't really afford to have like software mistakes as you would like maybe in a car or somewhere down here. So in that aspect, we have to make sure everything is rigorously tested and make sure there's checks and balances in place. So it's a whole different playing field when you're coding for something in space, because obviously you won't be able to send someone out there to go fix the problem, right? So it's a completely different approach when you have to software development.
When this leaves the desk and heads into orbit, what's it going to be like, knowing that you've been part of this?
It's going to be interesting. I mean, we'll just be back into the academic term, so we'll be working on midterms and assignments, but we'll be able to, in the background, look at this amazing thing that we've worked on and feel incredibly accomplished.
What do you hope the students get out of this project?
We're hoping the students will understand more about space systems, about what it takes to build a satellite, even as small as this. There are so many aspects of it. It's a real-world project, which students often don't get until they get into a job in the real world. So we're hoping that the students will understand the aspects of space, that they'll consider a career in space systems, or stick around here in Newfoundland and Labrador, maybe work for a company like Secor, or work for the dozens and dozens of small Canadian companies who are working in space right now.
It's a spiritual gathering. It's a gathering of making new friends.
A celebration of tradition and culture. The 28th annual Meowpukek First Nation Powwow is happening in Conn River this weekend. Coming up, we'll hear from Chief Mizel Joe about how this event has grown over the decades. The annual Mi'kmaq First Nation Powwow is underway in Conn River today and runs throughout the weekend. Chief Michel Joe says it's an important traditional and cultural event that brings the community together.
Well, I'm hoping that, like in previous years, we've had as much as 3,000 people come through, and I'm hoping we're going to have more this year. It's all good. We try and follow a tradition as much as possible in terms of looking after everyone, an alcohol-free event, drug-free, everybody looking after children like it should be, and everybody having a good time and go away with a feeling that you want to come back again. It's a spiritual gathering. It's a gathering of making new friends. It's an opportunity for someone to go into a sweat lodge for the first time. It's a chance to get involved in storytelling, a chance to go to the sacred fire and lay down tobacco and make an offering for prayers of your loved ones. It's an all-around event that everybody gets involved in. It's getting better and better all the time. I'm really looking forward to it. It's sort of a blessing after a long year, and particularly after coming through COVID and all those things. It makes a big difference. In early winter, they'll start planning for this year's event, and the community will start preparing for it. People are making regalias, and the craft store is selling regalias, and the individuals are making regalias to sell, and there are book signings at the powwow too as well. Lots of many things happening at the powwow that, unlike the first one we had. Now, there's so many vendors there now that you don't have to go hungry. Of course, we feed everybody once a day anyway for a big meal during the supper evening. And just have fun and enjoy. I think it's the best thing that we've ever done, going back for 27 years or so when this first started. It was the young people that actually made it more popular. The first year we started, the parents not so much, but young people got regalias. Then after that, it was the kids that sort of brought their parents on side with their own regalias. Now they dance in the powwow with their young ones, and that's incredible. That's what this was supposed to meant to do. We didn't know it at the time, but this is what it's supposed to do, and it's continuing on today. I think it brings the community together in many ways. We, like any other community, we have our moments of fighting and arguing and disagreements, but I think a powwow changes all of that, brings people together and have a good time. And it's a stress reliever, at least it is for me anyway. To see all of our people gathering and dancing and making new friends and renewing kinship and making new friends and, visiting with older friends. It's an incredible way of ending off the year, starting the year, whichever way you want to use it.
Well, as we heard earlier in the show, the Newfoundland and Labrador Folk Festival is happening in Bannerman Park in St. John's this weekend, and 16-year-old Zelia will be one of the performers. She won her spot in the Newfound Talent Contest, a competition that aims to discover, develop, and showcase young musicians here in the province. Zelia stopped by our radio studio today to speak with On The Go's Martin Jones.
Does she sleep in your basement like we once did? Does she run her fingers over your heavenly skin? Well, I was informed of the competition by my mom and my teacher. So they both sent me this stuff. They were like, you need to do this. I was like, okay. So I signed up for it. Anyways, I was originally going to do Piece of My Heart for the competition, but my voice was not having it that day. So, I ended up going with my own song. So glad I did.
What went through your mind when you're on that stage and they announced that you've won?
Oh, I was shocked to my core. There was a lot of talent there, and I mean a lot of talent. There were so many. Oh, there was so much, and I didn't know if I was gonna place. So yeah, I was shocked. And I stayed up thinking all night long.
It's a pretty amazing prize package. Tell us more about that.
So I get to record 2 songs, I think. So that's it's crazy. I never thought that was gonna be able to happen, but yeah. And get to perform on the main stage. I'm opening for Rum Ragged, so that's crazy. Can't agree at all.
Celia, the inspiration for this song?
A breakup. Yeah. I don't know. I was in a relationship and I felt like I had to not be myself to make this person feel comfortable, and so yeah. Don't change who you are for somebody else.
That's a solid message, right? Talk about writing that song. What was the process like? How long did it take you?
A day.
A day.
Yeah, I was on a skiing trip with some of my friends, and yeah, I was just in the lineup to get my skis, and I was like, I'm feeling this way right now. I'm gonna start writing, so I did in like the lineup. Ripped those letters and rewrote those songs, and I asked myself why did it take so long for me to realize I don't need to please you.
Any message to young people out there who maybe want to start writing music, or maybe have songs of their own already in a notebook somewhere, who are just a bit nervous maybe to take that first step?
Just go for it, cause like, what have you got to lose? You only got ticking, right? Like, and put passion into the songs that you're writing. Don't just write a song to write a song. Put emotion into that song. No, I won't be dull in my life for another man like you.
Two entrepreneurs on PEI have launched new drinks inspired entirely by women. Cool Brew Coffee and Raspberry Cordial Vodka are now on the shelves for the summer of 2023. Nancy Russell has that story.
This is summer number 3 for the Shed Coffee, and this summer, Hai Nguyen is getting ready to serve something customers have been asking for: cold brew coffee in cans.
For us, cool means fun, convenience, but not yet compromising the quality of coffee. And it's also coming from the fact that during the last 2 summers, we see there's an unmet need from the customer. They always looking for something fun, convenient, cold, ready to drink, something like this.
But there is more to the new canned coffee than convenience. The beans in these brews are all from farms around the world that are led by women.
Put all their creativity, their vision, their love into our product.
Nguyen says it is a dream of hers to meet the farmers, and she thinks about them all the time as she roasts their beans. This is also a new PEI-made beverage, Raspberry Cordial Vodka, inspired by a scene in Anne of Green Gables. The drink's co-creator, Julia Campbell, is related to Lucy Maud Montgomery, and her family has run a tourism business connected to Anne and Montgomery for decades.
And during COVID, when things were really dim for tourism, we were trying to think of a year-round business model outside of just the 10 weeks that typically PEI tourism provides.
There are no images of Anne or Diana on the canned drink, but Campbell says there are some subtle clues in the colorful designs by a local artist.
We wanted to give a hint to Anne fans on the can. We have the apple blossoms from the White Way of Delight, which is part of the story when Anne and Matthew drive home to Green Gables for the first time.
For now, the drinks are sold in bars and restaurants. The hope is to expand that and have them in liquor stores next year. Campbell says she is hearing from Anne fans around the world. Some say they're even going to make a trip to PEI to have a sip. Nancy Russell, CBC News, Charlottetown.
Well, it's Friday, so let's find out who's celebrating. Congratulations to Marion and Dave Innes of St. John's, who are celebrating their 50th anniversary. Happy 64th anniversary to Percy and Sarah Collins of Hare Bay. Anniversary greetings going out to Joan and George Smith of Heart's Content, who are celebrating 70 years together. Happy 55th anniversary to Shirley and Lloyd Banfield of Ochre Pit Cove. Congratulations to Lorne and Ann Moores. They're celebrating 53 years of marriage. Wishing Alonzo and Lucy Stride of Lewisport a happy 55th anniversary. Happy anniversary to Fred and Blanche Thorne of Burnt Islands. They're marking 54 years together. Happy anniversary to Mike and Georgina Billard. It's their 65th anniversary. Happy 66th anniversary to Garth and Mary Tiller of Corner Brook. Congratulations to Maurice and Jean Knott, who tied the knot 58 years ago. Happy 50th anniversary to Majors Claude and Fern Sturge from CBS. Wishing Violet and Milligan Chapel a very happy 68th wedding anniversary. It's a golden anniversary for Warren and Linda Rideout of CBS. Reverend Lockley and Phyllis Viander of Fortune, now living in St. John's, have been married for 70 years. Congratulations. Happy 65th anniversary to Jack and Laura Keating of Lawn. Happy 55th anniversary to Dominic and Rose Doyle of Wabush, now living in Carbonear. Wishing Joe and Ida Cull of Gander a very happy 63rd anniversary. Congratulations to Gerald and Jean Parsons of Heart's Content. It's their 51st anniversary. Happy 50th anniversary to Cliff and Alma Pollitt of New Harbour. Best wishes to Max and Ethel Hollett of Grand Bank on their 60th anniversary. Happy 54th anniversary to Kaywood and Dora Rideout of Corner Brook. Baxter and Annie Robson are also marking 54 years. They're from Great Harbour Deep and now live in Deer Lake. Congratulations to Ed and Ann Delahunty from Wabush, who are celebrating their 50th anniversary today. Happy 61st anniversary to Dave and Patsy Carmichael of St. John's. Anniversary greetings going out to Mervyn and Ruth Stacy of Stephenville, who are celebrating their 55th wedding anniversary. And congratulations to Harold and Elizabeth Late of St. John's, who are also celebrating their 55th wedding anniversary. Best wishes to John and Elaine Spurl of Hodges Cove on their 54th anniversary. It's a 50th anniversary for Tom and Cheryl Byrne of Mount Pearl. Congratulations. Happy 50th anniversary to Margaret and Dermot Foley of St. Bride's. Now to some birthdays. Happy 91st birthday to Dot Foster. We're told she's a big fan of CBC reporter Daryl Roberts. Happy 95th birthday to Mary Sturge, who's living in St. John's. Happy birthday to Daphne Kennedy, who's celebrating her 91st birthday. She's from St. John's and now lives in Torbay. Best wishes to Louise Stalder Snow, who's turning 96. She's from St. John's and now lives in Port Credit, Ontario. Happy birthday to Violet Bixby, who's celebrating her 90th birthday. She's from Stag Harbor and now lives in Mount Pearl. Nathaniel Smith from Norman's Cove is celebrating his 95th birthday. Hope you have a wonderful day. Happy 90th birthday to Eleanor Ryan of Brigus South, now in St. John's. Happy 93rd birthday to Marie Daw of Gander. And happy birthday to Richard Brinston from Lark Harbor, now in Corner Brook. He was a gunner with the 59th Heavy Regiment. Richard Brinston is turning 98. Another fine crowd. Congratulations once again to everyone celebrating. And yes, time to celebrate the weekend. The weekend is here and we're going to look ahead to Sunday. Hoping it'll be a nice day.
We're still looking, it's going to be unsettled right across the board, but not bad. It's definitely not a washout by any means. Still the chance of some showers in some cases, but let's take a look at what's going on out there. So the area of low pressure still affecting us. So we're looking at onshore flow along the northeast coast and coastal areas of Labrador. That means that things will be a tad cooler as we head through the afternoon hours on Sunday. However, still those chances of showers. There's a few peaks of sun certainly in the mix for central, the west coast, but you are looking at that chance of showers. Labrador as well. Pretty much from Lab West to Central Labrador, you are looking at that chance of showers through the evening, at least through the afternoon hours. For Lab West. Temperatures will hover around 27 degrees for those of you in Lab City, generally around 24, 25 degrees for central areas of Labrador, and then towards the coast, those temperatures will be in the teens. Now for the island, like I said, in onshore flow, temperatures will be a tad cooler. So generally into the mid to upper teens, otherwise further inland, even towards the south coast, your temperatures will be hovering in the mid 20s. And some humidity will still very much be in place for your Sunday. Sunday evening into Monday, essentially the same pattern. Still cloudy, still the chance of some drizzle, and still the chance of some showers. And essentially the flow is still the same. So temperatures along the northeast coast will still be a little chilly. Generally looking at that chance of showers for western Labrador as well as the northern portion as we head into the evening hours. Now temperatures are going to stay mild for Happy Valley Goose Bay. In fact, cracking the 30-degree mark, it looks like, for your Monday. So definitely kicking off the week with some heat. And then we're going to start to see some of that heat build across the island as well, particularly central and the west coast, where your temperatures will be in the mid to upper 20s. And then again, cooler along the northeast coast, so only reaching about the teens, and that's going to be the story for St. John's as well. Long range forecast, a little bit more sunshine as we head into midweek, but temperatures will be hovering around the 18-degree mark. Overnight lows still into the double digits. And then for central Newfoundland, you're looking at a fairly nice start to next week. Just some showers in the morning, then clearing on Monday, and then the rest of the, well, towards midweek anyway, is looking like the mid-20s, and then same thing for western Newfoundland. Now, as far as Labrador is concerned, we are looking at some showers by the time we get into Wednesday, and western Labrador, which is good news, some showers in place by the time we get into Tuesday, Wednesday, with your temperatures in the low 20s. Now, it's been beautiful. This is a lovely reflection in Ned's Pond in Stephenville. Frank shared this shot with us. If you have any weather photos, you can send them to Facebook, Twitter, but the best place is email them to nlphotos@cbc.ca.
Oh, that is lovely. Beautiful shot, Frank. Thank you so much.
Nice when it's calm, isn't it?
Yeah. It's amazing that we're going to be in the teens, temperature-wise, mostly next week in the east.
Yeah, it'll still feel a bit humid in some cases, but yep, we're down to the teens.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's it for us on this Friday evening. Hope you have a great weekend.
Good night.